What's up, everybody? You're on with Ron from the Travel Nerds, coming at you with today's trip tip. What's up, guys? Before we get to the trip tip, I just want to make a quick shout out. Please go on, check us out on our other social media channels. We really appreciate your support. Like and follow the different channels so that way you can stay up to date for all the Travel Nerd videos. Today's trip tip is actually a Disney World update. We're going to be going over some of the details and information about the cancellations that Disney announced on January the 11th. On Monday, January 11th, Disney came out and announced two big cancellations and changes to Walt Disney World. They are ending the Magical Express bus line that takes you to and from your resort and the airport, and they are also eliminating the extra magic hours benefit for getting into the 4 theme parks earlier in the day or staying later after they close. Both of these are one of those changes that feels like a big change, but it really isn't that big of a change. Travel Nerds and RGT Travels have been recommending to all their clients not to take the Magical Express. We recommend to use an Uber or an Lyft or some type of service to get you to the resorts because it's so much faster. With the Magical Express, for those of you that don't know, you would go downstairs to the bottom floor of Orlando Airport. You check in with your magic bands. They confirm you have a resort and that you have a reservation on the busing. Then they put you into a line and they board you on the bus. You load up, get on the bus, your luggage is automatically pulled from the plane and put onto those buses and transported directly over to your resort. These buses then travel to a series of resorts, including your resort, and you'll get dropped off at the resort. It is free of charge and it comes with any Disney package that you want. Trouble is, though, sometimes it can take forever to check in. The busing schedule, if you haven't hit it right, you could be waiting up to an hour for your bus, depending on how they're running and what traffic's like and everything else. And then, like I said, they do go to multiple resorts. So if you happen to draw the short straw and you're the 3rd or 4th resort on that trip, you could end up spending a good hour to an hour and a half trying to get over to your resort. Take an Uber or a Lyft. It's what I do every time I go to Disney. 20, 25 minutes, depending on traffic. Boom, you're right in front of your resort. It's quick, it's simple, definitely user-friendly. And the cost, really, you're like $25 for it, which, yes, now you're not using a free service, but honestly, if it gets me to the resort that much faster and gets me in the park, I definitely feel $25 is worth it. So this is something that could potentially impact your trip. Now, Disney did announce they are not ending this service until January 1st, 2022. So if you have a Disney World trip or you're thinking about having a Disney World trip booked in 2021, you will still have full access to the Magical Express if you choose. They are not ending this till January 1st of 2022. But they're letting everybody know early, that way everybody can get used to it. But like I said, it's one of those changes that could impact you, but it's really more of the fact of a change rather than the change itself. The other big change that Disney announced was they are eliminating the extra magic hours at the theme parks. For those, again, that don't know, what the extra magic hours are is it was a program that when you stayed on property, you could get into a park an hour early, or you could stay in a park an hour or two later, depending on the day. Trouble with the program was it was not consistent, so extra magic hours changed every day. Magic Kingdom on Monday could be open an extra hour, and then you could get in an extra hour early to Animal Kingdom the next day. Or there could be no magic hours for 2 days, and then Hollywood Studios has an extra magic hour. There was no consistency to this. It was a randomized schedule based on a series of events that were sometimes known to you, sometimes they weren't. It just kind of happened. So now that they're eliminating that, they are offering a new perk that allows any resort guest to get into any of the 4 parks a half hour early. So if the park opens at 9 a.m., a resort guest can get in at 8:30 a.m. This, again, is one of those changes where it feels like such a big change, but in reality, it's not that big of a change. Because of the randomized schedule that they were, you could never really plan too much on magic hours. When you booked your trip, you waited till it got closer till they announced the magic hours for those parks, and then you would revamp your trip accordingly to try and fit those magic hours if you could. But sometimes they didn't just line up. Your schedule had you in Animal Kingdom that day, and Magic Kingdom's the one with the magic hours. So sometimes you never used them, sometimes you did. So with the random piece of the schedule. It just made it very difficult to plan, and a lot of times it was a second thought, not part of your trip. At least now, you know, getting in a half hour early, you can always plan for that. Half hour doesn't seem like a big deal, but that could be the difference of getting through security, so that way when the park officially opens, you're already in the gate. 20 minutes, long line, boom, you're right there at 8:30, you get through security, and now as the park opens, you're already in the park. Obviously, Disney is always a ever-changing park. They always have new benefits. They're always taking away old benefits. They're always updating and changing and making sure to keep the magic alive at all the Disney parks the best they can. So when things like this happen, it definitely is a blow, and you definitely feel like, you know, nobody likes change. It's something different. Oh no. But in reality, when you sit there and think about it, these changes could lead to new, greater things. You never know. The Magic Express is definitely going to put some change on the way you plan your trips, but in reality, I always recommend my clients not to, and I know a lot of other travel agents that do as well. And even then, there are other forms of transportation, and you watch, now that this is going to happen, they are going to come up with something new, or something's going to develop in its place to try and save the magic the best it could. So you never know what's going to happen. They've announced this super early, which means there's definitely plenty of time for stuff to change. Same thing with the magic hours. The getting in a half hour early kind of helps you make more of a standardized trip plan. It gives you an actual benefit that you can count on rather before. Yes, the magic hours are nice, and you could definitely hop on that extra ride or get to that breakfast early, but overall, it's going to be helpful with the planning and to give you a sense of, okay, I'm staying in the resorts now, I know I can get in early. Well, this has been a trip tip from the Travel Nerds. Make sure to check us out on our social media pages. We really appreciate the support. Make sure to like and share our video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.